Hey,
This
honey.
is Andrea, otherwise known as She Talks Finance UK. Andrea, if you want to introduce yourself to the people, just let them know who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Andrea Dormer. She Talks Finance. I specialize in personal and business protection. Have over 13 years experience in the finance industry. But the last year and a half, I've decided to focus more on the personal and business side of things. So when I'm talking about personal protection, it's things like life insurance, critical illness, income protection, buildings and contents insurance. And then with regards to business insurance, it is public liability, indemnity insurance. And then we're also able to offer things like business loans and buy-to-let loans and so on. So there is, a vast range of products that I'm able to advise on.
Amazing.
and put in place as well. So I work under a broker that allows me to be FCA regulated. Yeah, so that is the protection in terms of the security of you feeling okay, or whoever's coming to me feeling okay.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's practically what it is. I am a mother. I'm a mother of two. I am
Cool.
So I am self-employed. So even though how the structure of the business is, I am working for a broker, but I do look at myself as an entrepreneur.
Amazing.
Because I have to find my own clients, utilize my network and so forth.
Amazing. And that's what it is. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, one of our previous guests, I think it might have been Sam, said an entrepreneur is in the mindset.
100%.
It's not necessarily what you do. And I guess your position kind of speaks to that as well, because I know you've been in them office late hours, girl.
There
and yeah, it's all in the hustle, all in the grind. And
I agree.
I'm so glad you're with us because Andrea, you've got these gems. You've got with us today, and we've got
don't gas me.
Just naturally, when Andrea opens her mouth, guys, it's information that's coming out just in general, and that's just what we like, which is amazing.
Thank you so much.
So much to unpack. Where should we start?
It's up to you, but I would say we can talk a little bit about business insurance. We can kind of kickstart there.
Yeah.
What business insurance is. So with regards to public liability, for those who don't know what that is, that insurance, it protects you, the public. So I give an example of if you own a shop and something was to happen to that person and they may have slipped on the floor, then you would be protected if they sue you.
Right. So let's say this then.
Yeah.
Someone watching has a business where, what's realistic? Say they have an event. Or, no, let's say they're doing hair. So say they're a hairdresser and they have clients come into their home to get their hair done. That's a popular one.
That is a very good one.
And they're not insured. They don't have business insurance. So they're just having people come in, taking maybe cash in hand, whatnot, haven't quite set up properly. But they think to themselves, I only get 4 clients a week. So I don't think I need to have business insurance. It's only on Friday and Saturday and my house is clean and there's no water anywhere. So it should be fine. What sort of risk are they opening themselves up to? And what advice would you give? Because I feel that's quite common.
I think it is, because there's, as we know, we see a lot of people doing hair from their home, which is fantastic. We all love our hustler, we're all about building our businesses and so on. But we need to also be protecting ourselves as well. Yeah. Because especially when it's things like hair, you could cut someone. You don't know what can happen, and would that person be happy that there's a scar on their face if that was the case? I'm just giving an example. When you're using certain products, people can have allergic reaction, which could be a popular one as well. Everyone's skin types are different. So you don't really know, so you are putting yourself at risk. And if you come across the wrong person, that is not your friend, let's be honest, because if you're now dealing with the public, this is what this is, public liability insurance. You're now dealing with the public, someone that you don't know very well, that someone that could sue you, that could damage your business. So for me, that is very, very important that you cover yourself, and that's a part of it.
And I was actually just going to ask you that. So how does public liabilities insurance then protect the business owner? How are they protected?
Okay, so they would take that insurance out. So if they was to be sued, all the court fees would be covered.
Right. Okay.
And if they do need to pay out, there would be a payout that would be to the customer, which would make them happy, of course. So yeah. So, and the thing is, Nicola, these people think, and I think this is what it always comes down. It comes down to money. This is what everything comes down to.
Yeah.
It comes down to, yeah. But if you're a small business and you're not bringing in much, it's not going to be expensive.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You'd have to be quite a big establishment for
it to be insurance. Right.
Exactly.
So say with our example, someone who is doing hair at home, they have, say, 5 clients a week.
Yeah.
What would they be looking at in the region of paying? Is it monthly, annually?
You can do monthly. You can do monthly, or you can do annually. Also, do you know the great thing as well is their equipment would be protected as well. So if something, so you know, if they've got the dryer and you know, or something broke, damaged, you would be able to cover that as well and get the money back for that. And a lot of people don't think about that as well.
No, they don't. And that's under the public liability insurance, or is
public liability? Yeah, so there's different parts of it. So you can have that where you're covering also employees, because that's important. If you've got employees, you need to protect them as well. Yeah, so that would also cover, if it was like an office, you can cover the office equipment as well. Yeah, so there's a vast range of stuff that covers, that comes under public liability. It always comes down to the needs of that company or of that person.
Even in saying that, some people might look and go, I don't have employees, you know, I'm just doing this myself. But actually, let's say you've got someone who's cooking food or baking cakes, for example, and then they have someone on board who does the deliveries or something like that. That is technically an employee. The person who's got going out, delivering the food or delivering a cake or something like that. So all it takes is, I guess, the wrong person to be on your team. Something will happen and
100%.
then come after you like that. So it's quite natural, guys, you guys tuned in, if you've got businesses where someone's maybe doing your deliveries for you or, you know, assisting you with the hair or your admin, they are all considered legally employees, right?
Yeah, and I think, you know, with regards to insurance as a whole, as I always say, it's a mindset. You know, if you want to, you know, start a business, you want to act like a business, you need to also have the protection for your business.
Yeah.
And it's about growing up as well, in a way, because you're trying to build something for yourself. Do you know what I mean? So at the same time, you need to put the right things in place. And I think what's important is people just getting the advice. Sometimes what people sometimes get scared of as well with insurance or booking a consultation is they feel like they're obligated. You're not obligated to anything.
Yeah.
It always comes down to the person that you deal with. I'm very relaxed. If anyone knows, they'll tell you I'm very, very relaxed. I'm very chilled. I don't tie anyone down to say, oh my God, you need to. But I just like to know that I shared the information with you. And by the time I give you that information anyway, if it's not now, at some point you are do you know what I mean? So I think there's definitely that side of things where people feel like if they reach out, because I know a lot of people must think about it. Of course they do. But it's like, if we reach out, if we call, even like online, you know, they start bombarding your phone and, you know, just like, I just wanted to inquire. You know, I didn't say I was taking everything out today.
Up to 3 emails a day, calls, pressure. So basically what you're saying is you've got a no obligation, no pressure.
Exactly.
Or drop you a line and you're happy to discuss with people
100%.
their needs, the circumstances, and if they want your protection or your help, perfect. And if not, no pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah, I think it's very, very, very important. I think it's very important that people and you know, with me, I like to be treat people how I like to be treated.
Yeah.
And I'm someone don't like those over 100 numbers. No one wants anyone bringing down their phone and putting you know, it's off-putting. So that side of things, I'm here to give the advice.
Right.
I work with many brokers with regards to business insurance, so I'm always able to find the best deal as well. So I've got a lot of connections with regards to that, and everything is literally tailored down to the individual or the business needs. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Whilst we're still on this topic, because I did see a question come through.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, guys, is drop all your questions in. Hey, Bailey, drop all your questions in, and I will go through them as we're speaking. So this one is, she has a public liability insurance as a sole trader, but was told she needs protection for herself too. What other insurance would you say an entrepreneur should have?
The public liability as a sole trader. So she's got the right cover as a sole trader, but in terms of other protections, my one would be income protection, protecting her income, especially with regards to the business as well. You can have business income protection as well.
Amazing. So for someone who maybe not is listening and is not aware of what protection is with a sole trader, can you give us a bit of information, or those listening, what's the difference between being protected as a sole trader and then maybe having protection for a specific event or something like that?
Okay, with the sole trader business, I think it's more personal as an individual. That's all it's saying. As a sole trader, it's more focusing on yourself, like more personal. And obviously with regards to an event, that's like more on the business side of things, more the wide range side of things. So that's all the difference is. It just means it's just for that person. It's not for the business. Yeah.
Cool. So basically, if you're like self-employed, and you're a one-man band going to do little things here and there, you're now insured for yourself. But if you're putting on an event or something of that kind, you need to take out an additional insurance alongside your sole trade for the event.
Correct. Because even with the sole trader public liability insurance, that also covers, you know, like electricians that go and work on sites and builders and so on. They have to have that. They're not allowed to work on the sites, you know, the contractors and so on. So that's a part of it as well. So yeah.
I did see another question.
Yeah.
That's great to know about business income insurance. Is that valid for limited as well? Yes.
And you can claim that back through your taxes as well. So yeah.
Most things are tax deductible. So are all types of insurance tax deductible?
No, not the personal, only the business one.
Only business,
not the personal. Yeah, it's just solely business. So if you're doing employee benefits, you've got an employee that you want to protect. That could be even private medical insurance. That is all. That can all be claimed back.
Amazing. You mentioned income protection.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got you now.
I love it. You know why? Because everyone thinks like, for me, I love protection whilst you're still here. Something that you can use. Do you know what I mean? Because when we're talking about life insurance, that's absolutely fantastic. But let's be real, we're not here to use it. It's more about our loved ones.
Yeah.
But what are we doing to protect ourselves while we're still here? I think that's the most important thing. And how are we stopping ourselves from getting into debt? At the end of it all, we don't know what can happen. You know, life is very unpredictable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we could injure ourselves, we could suddenly get ill. Now you would not be able to run your business anymore. How would you cope? How would you be able to sustain the same lifestyle as before? How would you be able to potentially pay your employees? So these are the protections that you need to have as well. So in an event of you being injured or ill, you can start getting a percentage of your annual salary coming in every month.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go too deep into it because there's it depends on the individual's needs or the business needs.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So if we were going to have a kind of blanket, all round essence of this is what income protection is and this is how it could help,
you will get a percentage of your salary coming in every month. Up until retirement age.
Okay.
And that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not expensive. Everything is tailored to affordability. For me, it's always about covering your outgoings. It's not to live a lavish life for you to still go on holidays. It's to just sustain the same
Make
lifestyle.
sure your bills are paid.
Making sure that you're good, and keeping everything going. I think that's important. The worst thing that could happen is for you to, you know, get sick and then suddenly your life's upside down. Did you imagine?
And it's something that we don't think about very often until it's too late. So you think, I'm young, I'm healthy, you know, I'm not going to get injured, or okay, so what if I sprain my ankle? Like, I can still use my laptop, but you don't know, I guess, what is coming. And
you never know. And I just think it's really important that we're mature enough to seek the advice and to just know what our needs are. Because sometimes if you're not getting this now, I know people that have now entrepreneurs, they're now running their own business, they're no self-employed, and they've come to me and they'll be like, and I'm now no longer with an employer, I'm no longer getting sick pay. I need protection because I've already mentioned it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that is my favorite. I'll be honest with you. Income protection makes sense. During this time of the pandemic, I've got about 7 people claiming it at the moment. And that's for stress, anxiety, you know, so it covers a wide range. It's literally just a doctor's certificate from your doctors. But again, a lot of people don't know about it. Me personally, I wasn't brought up with it.
No,
but a lot of established people have it. It wouldn't make sense if you earn £100,000. Think about it. If you earn that yearly, that needs protecting. Are you crazy? Because potentially you'd have to sell houses then if you got sick.
Yeah. So what would you say for someone who, let's go with 27k per annum is the income, whether it be self-employed or possibly hired?
Yeah.
Let's go with an example that someone earns 27k a year. What are the requirements for them to be eligible for income protection? Is there a minimum amount of time they need to have been trading, or a minimum amount of time they need to have been with the company?
Literally, if it's someone, I've got a provider that I use for someone that they don't submit taxes.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, you're not going to get that large amount. You're not, because what I've realized with a lot of self-employed people is they don't declare everything. And believe it or not, it bites them in the arse.
Yeah, eventually.
At times it does. And they realize, you know, because literally we can only protect what you declare. So that's, I think
a lot of people were burnt by that during COVID.
100%. I know it. I know a few that literally was like, I actually wish, you know, like I did things properly. And that kind of shows you, because we didn't know this was coming. Yeah, we didn't know
it down.
Yeah.
Then you got your own. No, I'm not actually advising anyone to shave off. Be clear.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be clear. Okay.
Yeah. So a 27-year-old self-employed.
27k. Let's go with they're 27 years old. They're earning 27k per annum.
Yeah.
Let's go with employed and self-employed. So same salary.
All right. So employed is fine. They will get, because they'll be able to give evidence of their income.
Yeah. Okay.
They would get a percentage of their income. So the most with the provider I'm with is 70%. It's up to 70% of your annual salary. You could get that coming in. Now, with regards to a self-employed person, like I said, if they declare what they earn, but if they don't, I have got a provider that is amazing. It's actually Aviva. They do something which covers your outgoings. Now, there's no proof of income. You just need to prove that you work a certain amount of hours. And I'll be honest, when my clients have claimed, they haven't even asked that, but I just let it be known what that is. So that is more a simple process. However, the max they give is not major. So the max that they give is 1,500. But you have to remember, 1,500 would cover majority of your bills. Definitely a mortgage. So I use that a lot for mortgage covers. So as an income protection to make sure that your mortgage is paid regardless of anything. Because remember, that's right now, obviously it's a liability, but that's going to be one of your assets when it's paid off. So you need to protect that.
It is a liability. It's It's not an asset because you've got, if it was a rental property, however, then it's an asset, and effectively it's anyway paying for itself.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Rent would pay for the mortgage.
But then if you, I think only in that way. But if, you know, you don't pay for your mortgage, then they can take the property and then you're left with a debt. So in that sense of things. But I would say that for that, you know, with insurance, it kind of comes down to your age. Let's be real. So all these people that's waiting to get older, it's the wrong thing to do. It's better to put something in place whilst you're younger. That just goes without saying. People think, you know, I'm fit, I'm healthy now, I don't need it. Wrong. Because you're going to get to a point where something could happen. You potentially have taken a year off work and you won't be able to get income protection. When they see little things like that, or they will exclude whatever you've been sick for. So I know I've a few, you know, clients that I've done have had exclusion of depression. So if they're off work for depression, they will not be covered. So we never ever want it to get to that stage. You know
what I mean? Ask is, when you mentioned you had a company that pays $1,500.
Yeah.
That's up to $1,500 a month, right?
Yeah, up to. So it doesn't matter what you earn. So you could earn £500. If you want 1,500, you can have 1,500.
So why is that then? How?
It's looked upon just as, it's called a living cost. So it's just looked upon as just covering your outgoings. It's
right, okay.
I'm not sure, but it's absolutely great. It's perfect.
And you've seen it being paid out to people.
Of course, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
Okay, cool.
It makes sense. I've got that one myself. Okay. I'm self-employed, so obviously it doesn't make sense. I have to have it because the worst thing I'd want to happen as well, where I've got children, my kids do a lot of activities, I do a lot of things with them as well. Why would I want their lives to change? No. You know what I mean? So for me, it's an all-rounder. It protects the business as well. It protects yourself personally. It's brilliant. So yeah.
Amazing. And the other question I was going to ask you is, so say you've got your self-employed individual, they are ill, or what if they're, for example, even not ill? So what if they have to take time off work because they've had a bereavement or something else, or even if maybe they get let go from work? Does the insurance cover things like that too, or is only sickness?
So the bereavement is you would go to your doctor and your doctor would sign you off, so you are covered. Now, with regards to what would we call it? You're let go of. That's called something, isn't it?
Made redundant.
Made redundant. We was doing that, but due to the pandemic, it's off. No insurance are not. We was when COVID first happened, we were banging debt, like literally, and then they just locked it off because they knew it's a high risk. So we do normally have that. I think when things settle down, but this just shows you as well of that people should have had this.
Yeah, so if you had it because they can't not pay you if it's already in your contract. The cover you have, they're just not offering new people who are now signing on. That's
but that just shows you. It shows you that a lot of people probably would have been okay. But that's why I feel like for me it's important that I continue to do these lives as well, because more people know. And that kind of stops these things from happening, you know, and from us, you know, lacking the knowledge of what we should have in place. So, that's that.
Okay. Now, for, I lost my train of thought because I was going to ask you a question. I'm going to have to come back to you on that one because it was, so we were just talking about if you're made redundant. I'm going to have to come back to you because it was, my mind's literally gone blank. And it was a good one as well.
Was it a good one?
Yeah. Let me go through these questions and it will come back to me. So that was the
that's all right. Is there any more?
Someone said it's a really good point. That was, can we talk about it? If you have income protection, will you still need critical illness cover? That's a good question. Because
that's a separate cover. So I'll explain to you. We're kind of going off topic. We did. We weren't really going to talk too much deep. But if you guys want to know, I'm happy to answer it. So with regards to critical illness policy, there is a big difference because with the income protection, you literally just need to be signed off due to an illness or injury. Now, with the critical illness policy, you have to have been diagnosed with a critical illness, and then you would receive a lump sum payout. Yeah, you can have it monthly, but the majority of people have it as lump sum. So what we deem as a critical illness is obviously things like cancer, strokes, heart attack, dementia, Alzheimer's, loss of limbs, the list goes on. There's different providers that cover different things, but majority of the providers cover strokes, you know, the ones that, you know, deem to happen, you know, as we get older, yeah, things tend to happen. We very rarely die in our sleep. That's the fact. Majority of the time, we do get a critical illness. So in an event of that happening, how would you be okay? Like, how would you continue to pay your bills? And that's what it comes down to. And that money also could be used. So I've had a client that was diagnosed with a critical illness, and the money was used for alternative treatment because she was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't want to get chemo. Yeah, because as we know, you know, it kills all your cells. You know, if it comes back, you are most likely to die. So
this is so morbid.
Yeah, I know. This is what a lot of people hate. I know. And you know what, Nicola, I'm so used to it now.
I know. I can tell.
But you know what? Sometimes when I've been consulting all day, even like today, back to back on consultation, I stop and I'm like, I just need to pray. I just need to pray because all I'm doing,
recovered.
Listen, all I'm talking about is death all day or critical illness. But I'm always one to say, God forbid, or I'll rather use Anne. Anne's got a critical illness. Do you know what I mean? I'm very like that. So I always make people feel a bit more secure in that sense. It makes them feel a little bit better that I'm not directing it at them. Or I'm saying, God forbid, you know, little wordings. I think that's important. But I'll quickly go back because I've gone so off topic. But yeah, so in an event of a critical illness, being diagnosed with a critical illness, you'll receive a lump sum, and a lump sum tax-free. So that's very important, lump sum payout. Now, what you have to understand with that as well is after you've gone through something so, you know, detrimental to your life, you might want to go traveling. Maybe you might want to invest, because you have to remember, you don't always die from a critical illness. I think that's very, very important. You can recover. So in an event of that, what you've gone through, something good can come out of sadness. You know what I mean?
You will have your lump sum payment to now pick up life the way you want to lead it.
Pick it up. It will change. I've had a client said it changed their life. Like it changed their husband's life. Do you know what I mean? They were able to get into the property, you know, side of things and so on. So it's not always a bad thing. I think it's important that we look at it in a positive way. But insurance is just for the what ifs. You never ever want to use it. I don't want to use mine.
No, of course not. And so basically, you should have critical illness cover alongside your income protection. Yeah, they're two different things.
Yeah, it's two different things. It is completely two, because obviously one of them, it is more the critical side of things, where the income protection is just more about you being signed off work. That's what it comes to.
Okay, we got another one here, and Andrea, can you please do a makeup and beauty tutorial? You look beautiful.
Who, me? Oh, guys,
it's true.
Do you think? No. Do you know what? Yeah, it's taken me years to just find what's good for me.
Perfect.
So I can't do anything different. I can't do eyeshadow. I'm not great. I just know how to do my makeup for myself. Yeah, that's it.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Someone said definitely. Are you familiar with the owl they work with / under? Oh, are you familiar with the owl?
They're brokers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who they are, yeah.
Okay. Is there a question to go with that? Just let us know.
Yeah.
So
there are, with Owl, I don't know too much. Obviously, that's another company that, or a broker, I should say, that other advisors would work under. They're nothing to do with me. I work under a broker called Unishaw, but I'm an individual. I am self-employed. It's just for me to be FCA regulated. Everyone consults differently. Everyone does things differently. I have my way. They have their way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. With respect to business loans, you don't go too much into it because not particularly you're field, but you do possess a lot of information in that.
Yeah, 100%. So the different types of, I've kind of got like a little presentation here. So we do like bridging loans, we do buy-to-let loans, we do development finance, asset loans, unsecured loans, and commercial mortgages. So we do a lot. So I don't really, even you speaking to me the other day about it a little bit more, I was thinking I should mention it more. I'm actually going to do a webinar on it.
Good.
Because there is a lot that we do and I'm able to connect people with.
Yeah,
as
you've
well.
Got the resources. You might not specifically do it, but you've got the
I've definitely got the resources, guys. The broker that I work under is absolutely amazing, you know, and the guy that deals with all of that, he is absolutely lovely. So I can definitely connect people with regards to that, like the business loans and so on. So yeah.
What I will ask you with respect to business loans, just to be putting ourselves into the mindset or the shoes of someone who maybe is just starting a business or thinking about starting a business, but they need that business loan.
Yeah.
Well, two questions. One might be, when they're applying for that business loan, is there anything that might make them more favourable or less favourable to being eligible for a business loan?
So if their business has been running for up to 2 years, well, for 2 years and above, that will be a bit better, but we do offer it in terms of under 2 years as well, but that would help. Obviously your credit score, which is very, very important as well. We do our start rate is 1.9%, so it's very, very low.
Okay, that's the interest, yeah?
Yeah. So it only takes about a week, the process of a business loan with us. So it's very, very quick decision. It's not long, and it's up to 5-year term.
Amazing. And the other question was, in terms of it being an individual, so is there a difference with an individual who would be claiming for a business loan? So say you're self-employed and let's go with our hairdresser example again, and you wanted to use the loan to buy your dryers and your chairs and even stock, maybe hair and stuff like that. Is there a difference between something like that and then someone who wants to now open up a restaurant or a cake shop or something? Like, are they considered two separate types of applications and processes, or are they pretty much measured?
They're pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. The only different ones would be like the buy-to-let loans, which is completely different. Yeah. But in terms of the unsecured loan, it would be the same thing. It just means that you need a smaller amount. You won't need a larger amount like someone that's going to a shop. That's what it means, really.
Cool. And seeing as you're the one who possesses all of the information, is there anything that we should know in addition to that with respect to business loans? Like, is there anything you should say, do you know what, if you're applying for a business loan, or one thing you should know about a business loan is that?
No, I think the only thing I would say is important that you don't rush into getting something like that, because so know what your business is, know that it's going to be profitable, know that it makes sense. Because I think a lot of people think, I start a business, because remember, when you start a business, sometimes there's that excitement bit, like business and so on. Because remember, within the 2 years, it's like, or when you just started up to 2 years, sometimes the excitement's lost. So you don't want to get yourself into that,
whether you're going to sink or float.
Yeah, because we spoke about that yesterday actually with Camille, one of the ladies that I did a live with, and it's like sometimes the drive goes. So you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where you feel like, where now you've got that loan and then it's, do you know what I mean? Now you're like, it didn't work for you.
It means for it to come,
so I think that's the most important thing, is knowing how your business is going to work. Have a business plan, because this is something serious. You're now binding yourself, into something, and remember, a lot of people have lost businesses as well, and they're now in debt. I know it. We now have some advisors that have come on that have had that situation. Do you know what I mean? So it happens. So I think being more sure about, you know, making those steps. I think that's very, very important. Don't just be like, oh, I'm getting a business loan, but it is a serious thing. It's not something that you can just walk away with because my business didn't work out. Well, you're still gonna have to pay for that. So yeah,
now you need to go back to the drawing board as to how you're going to pay that money back.
How you're gonna pay back, and I just obviously the interest rate as well. I think that makes sense. I think that's very, very important.
So would you say then, as a normal kind of like thumb rule, at least have your business running for a year or two before you...
Yeah, that's why they say you're most likely to get it after 2 years. Because when they see that your business is running well successfully, don't get me wrong, there's people that start a business and straight away quick. Do you know what I mean? It's booming, there's things going on. So they can't discriminate in that side of things. However, you know, if you have got a longer running business, you would be more eligible for it. It'd be easier. It'll be definitely a very, very smooth process.
Okay. I did see a question in here. Someone said yes, same. Someone said there's a pension company you can recommend for a newly self-employed person.
Me, I can connect you with pensions as well. So Unishore also works with a wealth management company, AFH Wealth Management. So we have that side of things as well. So I can definitely refer you for free to regards to someone to speak to you about private pension.
And what is, I don't know if you've got any maybe basic knowledge on the pros or the importance of having your pension set up?
Yeah, obviously, because can you really live off in terms of the government pension, especially if you're self-employed and you haven't been really paying your, you know, your NI and all those other things, you're not really seen as a person in that sense. And obviously you will be affected. Obviously it's better to do it whilst you're younger because there'll be more in the pot.
Accumulating over time.
So it's definitely important. Like if you are self-employed, you should definitely be doing it. You know, you can't put it off because if you was working in an employed job, you know, there would be money going towards your pension. So it's about being organized as a whole, and that's what comes into it as well. And this is where I always connect income protection, because that will just allow everything to keep going, keep running. You know what I mean? Because remember, if everything comes to a halt, you've got no money coming in now. You're just messing up everything. For years you could be off. And some of the income protections I do is it will go all the way up until retirement age, the full term. So if you're deemed as disabled, they say, oh, you're disabled, which remember, that could be things like sciatica, you know. There's people that have bad inability. Exactly. Knee problems, knee replacements, all those things. You could be getting your monthly, you know, income coming in all the way up until retirement age, which means that your pension you'll be able to continue to pay your pension, which gives you a better life in the future. Do you know what? Everything is a vicious cycle. It's a cycle, and it all leads around it's serious stuff.
Glam Princess said she needs a reference. Glam Princess, drop Andrea a DM. We're going to drop Andrea's social handles at the end of the conversation. So stay tuned, and she can send you a DM, right? And then you'll be able to point her in the right direction.
That's absolutely fine. I could definitely have a conversation, or she can, message me. I'll give that, I'll definitely.
Amazing. In terms of a pension, we won't go too much into pension.
Because I don't know that much.
Too much, No, I know, but you probably know more than us. You know, you're the expert. If someone is self-employed and they haven't set up their pension, or they're yet to set up their pension, what you're saying is they should do that, one, because it allows them to leave a footprint. So you were saying if they don't have an NI, or they haven't been paying into their NI, etc., then they're almost like ghost on that sort of system. So they should be doing it to leave a footprint. And then with respect to kind of building a pot, etc., how much, you might not know this, but how much would they be looking at paying, or how much would be coming out a month?
It literally is down to the individual.
Right.
It literally comes down to that. I'm saying if you're younger, then obviously you could potentially do less because it will accumulate in a longer time. But with regards to if you're now older and you're getting closer to retirement, you're going to need to put more. So you're going to have to do more. So literally that's what it comes down to. So it's literally down to the individual.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And your pension would anyway accumulate from, if you had a retail job when you were like 16, you went into 4 different jobs, and then now you're self-employed, it all it all anyway. At the end, you'll get everything.
Everything. You will always get everything. All your pensions are there. They're linked. And I know there's ways of them combining it. You know, there's other ways of them combining it, and so on. So yeah.
Okay, cool. What are the 3 kind of like top tips you have, or like if you were going to leave us with 3 things today that we need to sit on and ponder on with respect to income protection, business loans? We have touched on business loans, and business insurance. What are 3 points for each one? Well, 1 point for each one, which equals 3.
So mine would definitely be, with regards to income protection, is just asking yourself, if you wasn't able to work due to an illness or an injury, would you be able to sustain the same lifestyle as before? If you have savings, would you want to use your savings during that period that you're off work? That's what it comes down to. And with regards to like business insurance, it's like I said, it's a mindset. And even if you have a small business, you should have business insurance, especially if you're a food business. You are dealing with the public, you know, which is, for me, it's on a different level. So you should be putting the right things in place. If they're not people that you know as well, you could get yourself into a lot of trouble, and it's not worth it. So also something that we do as well is in indemnity business insurance. I didn't really get to touch on that much, but that's as well if you're giving advice as well. If you give the wrong advice, you need to be protected. So this is PTs as well. But there's a lot of personal trainers.
Let's touch on that slightly.
Yeah, let's go.
That's quite important.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of advice-based services out there, from personal trainers to even like makeup artists and
100%.
skincare
is major.
Yeah, give us a bit of information about that if you can.
Yeah, so with regards to indemnity insurance, that protects you in terms of giving advice. If there is any legal fees, you would be protected. If you have given bad advice, or you know, it's just not gone the way that you wanted it to go, it's backfired on you, you are protected. And we're talking about as well giving advice with the skin. It's serious. There's a lot of people, makeup artists and so on, and even myself being an advisor, I am protected with indemnity insurance.
Right.
Yeah, because you are giving that advice. You are deeming yourself to be telling the truth. You know, you put yourself in that position. So if you say the wrong information now and someone gets wind of that, or something happens, you need to be, and they go and sue you, because they definitely have the right to. You know, they definitely have the right to. You that would protect you. That person would be able to get a payout if there was a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if guys as well, any questions you have, just chuck them in. Up shortly. So any last questions you've got, chuck them in. With indemnity insurance, if you are maybe speaking from a personal experience, or maybe something you've done personally that worked for you, could you get away with maybe saying, okay, this was my experience, this is how I did it and it worked, this is not an advice basis?
Yes, 100%.
So would that just then cease any liability because you made the disclaimer?
Yeah, you would definitely, you would still need to have it, like the indemnity anyway, because they could personally say, you told me. So it would be like a fight that you'd have to have in court. Do you know what I mean? But you definitely need to talk more on, this is my own personal advice. You need to make it very, very clear. You know, this is my own personal advice. This is, you know, not something that I'm telling you is, you know, completely the truth. You know what I mean? So it is important that you express that. But regardless, people can lie. So people could lie.
You should anyway have an insurance, because it costs pennies, right? It's not, well, not specifically pennies, but it's pretty cheap a month, you were saying, for these sort of insurances, right? So
yes, it's do you know what, if you're a small business, it's not expensive. Like I know cake makers paying like £6.59 a month. Like,
so it's a worthy investment.
Yes, I saw someone, even if you are a online wig maker, do you still need insurance? Well, anything that's on someone, I would personally protect myself. Because what would happen with a wig? They could say that they started losing their hair at the front. When you know that just comes down to sometimes the band, you know, just around the wig. I've got a wig on now. You know what I mean? So, oh my God, the light went off. You can still see me, right?
I can see you. You're right.
I'm scared though of the dark.
She said I'm scared of the dark.
Oh my God, I don't like. But yeah, I would always protect myself. But also is as well, you can have protection is if you're posting those wigs. You know what I mean? And it got lost in a post, you can claim that back. You know, there's many different.
But then that would be from the post office. Like that's depends on how you shipped the wig, no? Or are you?
Yeah, and in that sense, but you might could do extra claims.
You can also. Oh right.
If you got the right things in place, 100%. It's like if I lost my luggage, I have before. Well, the airline lost my luggage. I was able to claim with the airline. And I was able to claim with my contents insurance as well.
Contents. Yeah. Amazing. So,
yes, double whammy for me.
Are there any like laws or things against that, or are you completely within your rights to claim?
Well, with regards to that's like even with the income protection, I'll say even if you are employed and you have an income protection, it is your own personal protection that you're paying for. It's nothing to do with your employer. It's nothing to do, completely separate. And that's the same with your contents insurance. It's yours. It's yours. And with regards to the airline,
your rights to claim on the airline.
You're well on you're very well in your rights.
Yeah. And you offer advice on contents insurance and things like that, right?
Yeah, I do that. I can do that on the spot. Literally, that's 5 minutes. Again, that is not expensive. You'll be very surprised. And that's why, like, with the contents insurance, when I lost my when the airline lost my baggage, the thing is, the things that was in there, they were only, my travel insurance was only covering like up to £1,000, but I had way more than £1,000 worth. So this is where my contents kicked in, because I'm covered for, with my contents insurance, up to £6,000 when I leave the house. That's all my laptops and all my shoes, my bags, all these things that I haven't spent money on. I'm protected in that side of things.
Amazing. And contents insurance, literally anyone and everyone can get contents insurance.
Yeah, anyone. The only time that it does go through like your mobile phone as well.
So basically everything, the entire contents of your house basically is contents insurance.
It is.
But it also covers you. I don't know if it covers you as standard, but you can choose to have it cover you when you leave the house. So
and I think that's important, because that's where your mobile phone would be covered. So where a lot of people have separately their mobile phones, because like clients that I've spoken to, they have their mobile phone separately covered. Yeah, and then but they could have it through their contents, and then they've got a separate contents. I'm like, no, if you just add this extra feature on, then you would be able to have that. But again, you're not gonna know, because when you go online to do things, it's you know, you need an advisor to kind of break it down and explain.
Okay, cool. And I will probably say for the people, because I know you are a lady with heaps and heaps of information, many talents, and a lot of which we haven't been able to touch on today.
No, of course.
So if you want to just let the guys know what you specialize in full, and how to contact you, and just how you offer your consultations and everything, which is free of charge. So
so guys, I'm able to offer free consultations, is free advice. For me, I just look at it as like a conversation for me to assess your needs, tailor everything down to affordability, because I think that's very, very important. We never want to side eye that payment coming out of our bank accounts, because I still side eye some of mine anyway, but because I know the importance of it, I will cancel, of course. So I'm able to give advice on and put the policies in place for income protection, life insurance, family income benefit, whole of life insurance as well. Did I say income protection, critical illness, buildings and contents insurance, sports insurance, that's like fracture cover, and private medical insurance as well. But I'm also able to connect you with other members of my team in terms of business loans, buy-to-let loans. What else did we do? Public liability I can do myself. Indemnity, I work with a wide range of brokers. So yeah, I'm well connected, guys. I can definitely help. Private pensions as well. I kind of missed that out. I can refer you to. So everything in terms of the financial side and insurance is with me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And in case you guys weren't here in the beginning, Andrea has 13 years experience in the industry, right? So that's just a whole head full of knowledge, 13 years of knowledge that you can drop her a DM. Your contact information is probably in your bio as well.
Yeah, it is. So I've got a booking system. So I do Zoom. Because I still always like the face-to-face, because that's what we was doing face-to-face consultations, which made our advisory service different. You know, then obviously doing it on the phone, we get to meet, you know, our clients, which was lovely. But obviously due to the pandemic, we have now decided to go on the phones. We're doing telephone consultations, but I'm still, you know, happy to meet people as well. I think it's eased up.
It's that time. If you're meeting with one person, you can sit across the table and have a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so my office is in Canary Wharf. So I'm based there, but I also do home visits, especially for the elderly people. I come and visit your home and do the consultation there. Everything is free of charge. You are not obligated to anything. I am paid directly by the provider. So you don't have to pay me anything. The direct debits do not come to me. It goes to the provider, and I work with whole of market, but I pick the best providers tailored to your needs. So not everyone is for that provider, and that's what we have to understand. It's very, very important. Think of me as your small print, yeah, and that's it. I'm able to give you that information, the small print that most people never read. So yeah, that's
amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I would definitely say utilize Andrea's expertise, because it is lovely, especially when you're stepping into something that you've got no idea what it's about. Very few people maybe have very little idea of what it's about. And you can just be, you know, you've seen how lovely and easygoing Andrea is, how easy she talks to. Honestly, you're brilliant at what you do. You're really, really good at what you do. And
thank you so much. Well, also, if anyone wants to join my team, you know, I have a team.
I've got
to throw that out there.
It's COVID, so listen up, guys.
Yeah, I'm recruiting. Obviously, it's free training as well. So it's a good thing. If you want to share, you want to build your brand as well, because I look at this as my brand. You know, I definitely want to get into public speaking eventually, you know. I want to have my own clothing range. You know, there's other things that you can do. Do you know what I mean? But this is a good stepping stone, I believe, in terms of the finance industry and getting into it.
Amazing. So guys, if you're looking for some additional income alongside your early years of entrepreneurship,
yes,
get in touch with Andrea and she'll be able to help you out. Andrea, thank you so much.
No, thank you, Nicola. You're so lovely. It's so nice doing this with you. Really nice.
Our final Candid Conversations live guest.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks.
See ya. Bye, guys.
Bye.